W7ATS testing. W7ATL. Good evening, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. That's on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, WW7ATS. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts who take to the airwaves with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a cross-band repeater and puts out energy to 2.2 gigahertz. Also, if you wish to find out more about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, Google WW7ATS, that's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage and you'll find information about our group, frequencies we transmit on, and also a link to YouTube. We stream our nets on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 9 o'clock on YouTube. And if you go to our site, WW7ATS, you'll find the link to get to that. Also, we'd like to thank the Seattle Repeater Association for letting us use WW7ATR, the old machine, 147 on transmission. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic that needs to make a contact before our net gets fully underway here on the 08 machine. Again, this is Dave, 87CYM. Green Man also chipped in via video link has been Rob, 87KU, Jessica, KS7UHK, Lee, M7KC, Bert, M7CL, Richard, K7ITX, Wade, W7ITL, James, W7N, myself, Dave, 87CL. Anybody else would like to check into the net? Okay, it is as is. Let's start off with Rod, 87QKU in Tacoma.
Okay, KD7ZYM in the group, KD7QKU. What another gorgeous day, really, over here. Might have rained where you guys are, but it was sunny all day here. And I don't know how warm it got. It was in the, I think it was like 56 or something. It was warm enough that I just had a t-shirt and a flannel shirt on. Well, the big news here is maybe I talked about selling my boat last time. Well, I sold it. I'm getting a feedback through the speaker here. Okay, that's better. So anyway, I'd gone down here, I think it was called King Salmon, just down near the Narrows Bridge. There's a bunch of marinas and stuff down there. And they take boats on consignment. So I showed the guy a picture of it, and he said, yeah, bring it down. So I unwrapped it, got it all put together and taken apart, stuff I wanted to keep all out of it and everything. And so then Thursday I'd taken it down there, and they came out and looked at it, and they said, oh, gee, that's a pretty nice boat. So the big guy, he asked me, what do you think you want to list, try to sell it for? And I said, I think I could get, get $6,500 out of it. And no one said anything, and the younger guy got in the boat, and he was checking the steering, and he pulled the cowls on the engine, and he crawled underneath on the ground and looked at the bottom of the boat, and I told the big guy he had this BAM, a little top for it. And so he said, you got it with you? And I said, yeah. And the young guy said, well, get it out, let's put it on. So we got it out, put it on. And so the big guy said, well, we kind of don't like to take boats on consignment, in a way. He said, because we've tried to be a real reputable company, and we don't like to sell things that we haven't serviced, and like check the wheel bearings and the water pump and the carburetors and make sure everything's running and working when somebody buys it. And he said, what we like to do is we just like to buy them outright. And I said, okay. He said, well, you know, if you put it up for sale for $6,500, it's a 15% commission. I said, yes, I know that. So he said, how would it be if I wrote you a check for $5,500? Well, that told me that it was worth more than $6,500. I thought. I probably should have said $7,500, but even at Christmas, I paid about $5,000 for it when I bought it. They were, you know, I was already getting more than I paid for it. So I looked at the guy and I said, $5,800. And the young guy in the boat apparently was the boss. And he thought a minute and he looked at me and he said, $57. I said, write a check. So the young guy he told the big guy, go write him a check. And the big guy, the little guy got out and started disconnecting her from the pickup. And the big guy said he had the title and stuff. Yeah. So Joanne was with me. We went in the office and did all the paperwork. That was a nice thing about, you know, I was going to put it on consignment because if somebody wanted to buy it, you know, on a contract, well, they would handle all that. And they'd handle all the paperwork. But as it turned
Connected N7KC.
I guess I talked it out. So anyway, he wrote me a check for $5,700, and by 11:30 I had it deposited in the bank. I think I went down there about 10:30. So that was it was sad, but it was good. So back to that KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, wow, thanks for that. Let's go to Jessica. KF7UHK in Everett.
Up in Everett, where it's 45 degrees, we had downpours a few minutes ago as we were coming home from up in Mount Vernon. There it was beautiful day. It was beautiful, windy and cold. But like they say about a boat, and the first day and last day of having that boat is your best time, and that worked out really good for you. That's fantastic. I mean, you got the boat, you played with it a whole bunch, and still got your money back out of it. You just can't beat that. So today was parade day up in O'Connor, so we went up and watched the parade. I took my video camera up and I had a prime spot to film the parade coming down the main drag and down through O'Connor, right next to the booth that was announcing what was coming through. So that was a lot of fun. And while we were down there, one of our best friends, his wife, happened to show up with his sister-in-law. And walked up just like, oh, hi there, Jessica, what are you doing up here? She's like, well, I just thought I'd stop by and watch this parade. So that was pretty cool. And then we went to, and this is all part of the Kiwanis group, club. And then we went up to have a salmon bake up in Mount Vernon, salmon bake from the Kiwanis. And it was delicious. It was really good. It was $23 a head. And, oh gosh, we just got a fill. Had ice cream and potato and garlic bread, coleslaw, and a nice hunk of salmon. It was delicious. And something to drink himself. With that, I'm going to pass it back to Jessica. KF7UHK.
KF7UHK, let's go to Lee in Port Angeles. N7KC. Okay, how am I getting in, okay? Getting in? Okay, good. All right, N7KC in Port Angeles. Thanks, Dave. Good evening to you folks. And okay, so you sold your boat. Yeah, I'm kind of sad to hear you do that, you know. But I understand. When I had the opportunity to sell my boat, I jumped at it. I didn't do as good a deal as you did. Not as good. But pretty good. And Jessica, oh my gosh, it must have been something associated with the Tulip Festival. I don't know whether that's why I guess you say not a yes. Well, a salmon dinner, oh my gosh, that salmon, I could have been a Northwest Indian. Well, an Aboriginal, I could eat it 3 meals a day. Love that stuff. Let's see, I don't have anything else here. It's been the weather here, so it's kind of weird today. It's been squally. We'll have periods of kind of really gusty winds, and then we had some hail today, a little bit of hail. and they're talking like we might have thunderstorms tonight. That'd be something. It's been a long time since we ever had a thunderstorm here. It doesn't happen very often. It'll be interesting. Anyway, I don't have anything else. I don't know who's off hiding in the wing. I was just sitting on here, I think, when the night got started. Anyway, Dave, thank you very much. And back to you, Anthony Casey, and William Port Arthur. And 7 Casey, thanks for that. And ID time. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Design Cat-on-Storage Machine. I'm Dave, 87CY. What's up then? 37.
Okay, let's see. So Ron, your story about the boat, you're talking about the big guy and the little guy, and I'm just in my head, I'm imagining Gilligan and the skipper. But anyway, I'll tell you guys about a story that just happened to me two hours ago. So I went to Jack in the Box to get some dinner before the net, and they actually had the dining room open on the inside. So I get my food, I'm in there eating, and then another guy comes in to the dining room to talk to me, and apparently he said he used to work at this place, and he was just complaining about the prices, like they're like 2 times as much as they used to be when he worked there. And then he said, yeah, the reason they're raising these prices is, of course, because of the asteroid. And then that kind of got my attention. I said, what are you talking about? He said, the asteroid is coming to hit the Earth in 2026 and destroy everything. And then I started kind of laughing, saying, no, I've heard some stuff like that, but I mean, it's like 0.00000% chance of whatever of hitting. And he says, no, man, look it up. So I have my tablet in front of me. So, okay, I humor the guy. So I look up 2026 asteroid hit, and nothing. But then I see something that says 2027 asteroid hit, 96% chance. And that kind of caught my attention. And it's like, okay, I hadn't heard about that, and it was from a NASA.gov. It was on the NASA.gov site. That got my attention. So I opened the PowerPoint slide from the NASA.gov site about a 2027 asteroid. I'll let it drop for a second. And, okay, so I pulled the PowerPoint, I'm going through it, and it's talking about, 96% chance hitting a 300-meter wide asteroid. It's going to hit somewhere, like around, China, Korea, Japan, they're expecting tsunamis, and I'm just reading this going, what the heck is going on? And so at this point, it's like, okay, I gotta go home and, read more about this. So on the way home, I'm all kind of crazed, how is it that I've not heard anything about this? And it was really from a NASA.gov site. And when I get home, I pull up the same PowerPoint in PDF form, and it turns out on the bottom of every slide, it said, exercise only. But the PDF reader on my tablet wasn't showing the very bottom part of each of the slides. So yeah, I feel a lot better now. But yeah, about an hour ago, I thought the world was going to be ending in 2027, so I was kind of freaking out. But I'm okay now. So anyway, this is M7CS in Marysville, still here. World not ending. So back to that.
M7CS. Thanks for the update. I guess we all won't be turned into oil in the future. Let's go to Richard, Tucson, ITS.
You had me kind of worried too. I mean, that sounded, the way you're telling your story was just so realistic. So, gosh darn. Well, anyway, I can breathe easier now. I mean, geez, it's just baseball season just got started, for crying out loud. We can't have be worried about asteroids. So let's see, and Ron, I'm happy you sold your boat, but I think you sold the wrong one. I wanted you to keep a bigger boat so we could go salmon fishing off. You were right next door to Point Defiance, for crying out loud, and God, that's one of my best fishing stories of all time. It not only did it include catching beautiful salmon right at dusk. The sun was dead down. You could barely see it way off in the distance as I was bringing it in. But
not only, but the real big part of that story is racing back to the Day Island Marina where you sold your boat from Point Defiance and right around the Nels Bridge. I was going pretty, it was dark, but the water was like glass. Trouble is, and it's nice and the water's like glass. All the lights start to blend in with each other, and what you think might be the shore might not be the shore. It might be a tugboat. Well, yeah, okay, I saw the tugboat, no problem, but I thought I would get around the other side. I think I was on one side or the other. I just wanted to negotiate behind them and get around. So as I made the move, and I was in plane, I was probably doing about 23 miles an hour in plane in the dark, but felt very comfortable about it. But he kept shining, this tugboat kept shining his light. And I thought, I'm thinking, why does he keep shining his light behind him? And he's shining his light, then all of a sudden, in the light, I could see the glistening of this cable. And then I thought, oh. And so I looked about 100 yards behind the tugboat, and there's a barge about 2 or 3 times bigger than the tugboat. And I think he was trying to tell me, don't go any further. You're going to hit this tow line, and all bets are off. And, oh my God, that's about one of the scariest moments, or at least one of the biggest shocks of my life. And my heart sank, and I tell you what, I took the boat off a plane, and I put it back probably at about 5 miles an hour, if that. And, but boy, thank God, the tugboat driver saved my life. So anyway, yeah, Ron, saltwater's great fun and all that. And taking the boat out, it's all about out in the lake will be fun too. But yeah, boating, I think we all have, anybody that's had a boat has a good boating story, whether it's forgetting to put in the plug or a story like mine. K7ITS, back to net control.
K7ITS, well, let's see if Wayne from Tacoma is with us. W7ITL.
W7ITL here in Tacoma. Just give me a minute here while I switch in. We'll just see a second. Oh, alright, well there I am. Let's just comment on a few things. Ron, it sounds like you sold your boat. Oh man, I kind of wanted to go out on that before you sold it, but you got an opportunity to take care of it and you just go for it. So I'm glad you got a good deal. It sounds like you just got more than you paid for. That's awesome. Let me just pause for a second. Sounds like Jessica, you got to go do some type of event with salmon. You got to eat some salmon. That sounds really good. The Tulip Fest, I guess. Let's see, for me, had a couple things happen. One of those I think I told you guys I had an Icon radio that died on me. I got it back. I got a message on Thursday. Let me break for a second. And they told me that the radio was unrepairable. They said that there was water damage. They had entered into the radio and messed the PA and the main board up. So they sent it back to me, and I got it back today. So I'm checking around to see if there's any hams that would want to give a crack at it, try to fix it. It's kind of a bummer. And then today I went over to the radio club at Tacoma, and I saw John, and I was working on another radio that it wasn't working right. Didn't fix it, but got to open it up and got to look at it and got to try to fix it. But I think I'm gonna give it another try here later. And then Bert, let's see. I just wanted to comment. End of the world asteroid. Oh wow, you got me going there for a second with the whole 300 meter going to hit us in 2026. Oh man. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it's not going to hit us. That's a good story, though. All right, well, this is W7ITL back to net.
W7ATS, thanks for that. And it's ID time again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. On the 08 machine, I'm Dave 87ZYM. I'll pause momentarily in case anybody else wants to join. Hearing now and again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Next, let's go to Joe, WW7ATS.
For that, to call the PA. Well, wait, I'm sorry to hear that ICOM couldn't fix your radio. My goodness, they sent you the dead body back. I would have thought they would have at least sent you a 10% discount coupon with the dead body or something. That's kind of admitting. You got another dead one too. That just makes me realize how fortunate I've been. I have really those radios here, and they seem to keep hanging in there. I don't quite know why. I guess they really built them well back in the 90s. Well, Bert, next time you see the guy at the Burger King, be sure and tell him you just know one of the lizard people, and you talked to me, and I said I took care of that one. And it's the other one we're a little more concerned about. That is an interesting story. The famous thing, I love it when on the financial presentations, there happens to be an error that cuts off the bottom of the disclaimer on every slide. That's my personal favorite. And Ron, that is amazing. You got more for those today than what you paid for it. So that tells you that yes, it's true. The $1 that was in your savings account 2 years ago is now worth 71 cents. That is exactly, I guess it depends on what you're buying though. Richard, yeah, your boat stories, when you live on the Gulf Coast, everybody has a boat story like that. My favorite one that sticks in my mind from decades ago now is, I think it was the Mississippi State Police had quite a Navy at that time. I don't know how they managed that, but they had quite a bit of funding. And their biggest thing when they came to the boater safety class was to tell us that they are not a towing service. That's not their job out there. And that you need to make sure your boat actually works before you go out to the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. And, being young and foolish, I almost said, well, what is the fun in that? It's like, it's like gambling, isn't it? But, fortunately, I thought better of it and didn't say that to the guy. I'm not sure he would have thought that was funny. Well, with that, let's see, it's 22 after the hour, and this is James, Whiskey Uniform 7 November in Northeast Bellevue. Glad to see everyone here tonight. Let me go ahead and turn it back to our net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Take it away, Dave.
WW7M, James, thanks for joining us. Yeah, this is Dave in Lake City, 87ZYM. 46 degrees outside and spitting out a little bit. Not really heavy rain, but just a drop or two coming down periodically. And for me today was domestic chores inside, and I must say I enjoyed my new furnace install. It runs so quiet, it's unbelievable, and it couldn't happen for a better test date for the next 3 days anyway. And the temperature seems to be pretty even all through the house. The other furnace upstairs was generally about 2 degrees cooler, but now upstairs it comes in perfectly with what the thermostat is set for the whole house. So I've very much been enjoying that. So with that, I'm going to say let's go back up to Ron, 87, GKU. Okay, thank you very much, Dave. KD7QKU here. Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking, James, that Bert needs to go tell the other guy the world's not going to end. He's probably out spending all of his money because he knows he can't take it with him. Anyway, and I've been up there and had that salmon dinner a couple of times, at least, and it is good. So I do have some pictures I'm going to try to show, so let me switch over down here. you need to switch something in or something. I see myself, but I don't see the picture. Just switch the right button, maybe. Anyway, now that I got rid of the one boat, I had this tight frame that I put together at the other house, and so I put it together next to the end of the garage, and I can put this boat in it, and I have room to walk by. And I made it a little bit longer than it was before, so I have room now for the motor and stuff. Hang on. So we'll see if we get it from the first this time. Come on. There we go. So that's the frame that I had put together. And of course I covered it with a plastic tarp. Joanne wanted brown. I had a couple of blue tarps. I had green at home, but it got all tore up. So I went down on the Glennons. They wanted $62.50 for a plastic tarp, and I came home and I told Joanne, I'm afraid you're going to have blue. So she wanted it. Where is this going to be? So she came out and looked, and she said, well, nobody can see it, so blue is fine. So she helped me string the tarp over. So when this one wears out, I guess I got another one. I'll show you one more thing. So anyway, I put my ATV equipment in the bedroom, and I set it on this table. And since then, I bought a cabinet. I thought I had a picture of the cabinet, but maybe I don't. I bought a nice little wood stereo cabinet to put it in. Joanne didn't like this in her bedroom. She thought it was kind of cheesy. So, but anyway, I got it. Yep, that's it. I got a nice little wood cabinet for it in there. Back to net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks for that, Rob. And we'll get another IPN here. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7QYM. So let's go to Jessica, KF7UHK in Everett.
Here in Everett, KF7UHK. Ron, I really like that frame you made for that tarp. That's really cool. I'd have to ask, did you make that yourself? Did you come up with your own design on that? That's really nice, so that's really cool. Let's see, 2027 asteroid hit? Yeah, I think it's good to keep on pushing that down the rumor line just for fun. Just watch people, see what happens with our economy. Let's see, navigation lights at night on boats. I'm colorblind, and it works okay if I'm nice and close to colors. But when you have just a pinpoint light, I know is that a red light? Is that a green light? Is that a yellow light? What is that over there? And luckily we had GPS and/or a really nice big chart plotter. We could confirm everything we thought we saw in front of us. So that was always tricky. And coming at night, that just always gave me the willies. I really didn't like boating at night. It's fun if someone else is doing it, but when I'm doing it, that's scary. But yes, it was a tulip festival that's going on up in Mount Vernon. Some of the fields are full of tulips. There wasn't as much as last year due to, I think, the floods that we had. That flooded some places out. So, but there's still lots of people out to see tulips, and the trade was pretty well covered with people. That was pretty cool. Let's see. Oh, I was thinking about one more thing about the asteroid hit is just like in the movies, there's always some last minute bad news just before we find out that something's going to hit. Oh, by the way, we need to tell you this, that this is going to hit, it's going to happen in a very short amount of time. So, I think they hold back on bad news until they got to tell us, and then they have to tell us. And then one last thing is, when it rains, it pours. I put 3 different applications in for 3 different bus services, one Metro, one Community Transit up here in Everett, and one from Skagit Valley Transit. I have an interview with Skagit Valley Transit on Tuesday. That quick. And Metro wants me to fill out some kind of survey for a chance at that too. So, and I think there's one from the post office that I think I stuck in that I need to answer too. So, anyhow, like I say, when it rains, of course, KF7, guys,
Yes, Jessica, thanks for that. And I really enjoyed WW7ATS response using postal service, as you had mentioned that. So, let's go on to Bert, M7, CM, the bearer of great tidings of joy.
Oh, did we skip Lee, or am I all mixed up?
Oh, I'm all mixed up. We should go to Lee. M7KC, then we'll come to you, Bert.
Okay, very good. Well, Jessica, you're determined to drive something. And I'm telling you, you're going to do it, yeah. So good. Go for it. Guys, a few years ago, there was a large body, 300-meter asteroid was discovered. It turned out to be an orbit around Earth, and it was named Apophis. And the preliminary information indicated that it was very, very likely to intersect the Earth in its orbit, and that if it didn't get on the first pass, it probably would on the second pass. And I'm thinking that's coming up, so I just did a quick search. Anyway, I think it's called, 99942 Apophis. Well, it turns out in 2099, it's coming back, and it's going to pass, as I understand it, about 20,000 miles from Earth. Okay, that will be the closest large object to go by, certainly in my lifetime. And, 304 meters. This is 1,000 feet, in diameter. This is a big guy. And I think, as I understand it, it's probably going to be visible when it goes by. So that's in about 2029. So I think, I just read a little bit. They said they didn't think it was going to hit Earth this century, but it is a very dangerous asteroid. And it may, in fact, in time, actually intersect the Earth. Anyway, I don't know. We'll see what happens in 2029. I don't know. I might actually be here for that. Let's see. Hope so. That'd be very interesting. Anyway, I don't know. New furnace thing. Is that a gas furnace? A 4-star gas furnace that just replaced the original one? It's not a heat pump or anything like that. Yeah. Okay, 4-star gas. Oh, very nice. Congratulations. Okay, I'm out of time. It's 7KC, Newport, Angels. Thank you, Dave.
7KC, thank you. Now we'll go for M7CS. My apologies.
Okay, let's see. Wade, sorry to hear about your radio. I'm curious, did you know anything about this so-called water that may have done anything with it, or was that a surprise to you? I'm kind of curious about that. Let's see. The weather's been a bit crazy today here in Marysville. I mean, it was early in the morning, it was hailing,
And then 30 minutes later, the sun was out, and I was able to go for a walk, and it was a really nice day. So I think Jessica mentioned earlier, Everett got hit with the rainstorm. I didn't get any here. So yeah, it's just crazy weather happening today. Let's see, what else I've been doing? I've been getting all my tax forms together, ready to send off to the accountant. So I did find out the IRS website now has a place where you can actually log on and retrieve the past couple of years of tax forms that you sent them. So I didn't know you could do that, but you have to go through this weird process to set up the account to log in, where you have to prove yourself to the IRS that, like, with a copy of your driver's license, they scan it through your phone, and they also have to scan your face. And not just a picture of your face, it has to be a moving picture of your face or a video, because they want to make sure you're not just like holding a photo up of somebody else. And then they flash all these different colored lights when they're taking the video too. I guess there's some weird stuff they do to, I guess, tell that you're not like faking them out, with maybe playing another video that is a recording of somebody else's face. So that was kind of just an interesting process to go through. So I started downloading all my tax forms, but I guess if you start downloading too many, then they block your account. So I got temporarily banned for a little bit of time. But we'll have to, hopefully I'll be able to get them in front of it. Anyway, as a bird manager, M7CS, back to that.
M7CS, as they say, that's good for government work anyway, government job. Can't imagine having a problem with that. Let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
Been to the IRS website, and I've been able to access I haven't tried to retrieve any tax forms. Weirdly enough, I have all my tax forms that go back to when I was probably 19 years old. So that's a lot of tax forms, and in a box is somewhere, you know. But I do pay my taxes. I give the website permission to access a certain savings account, and based on that, that's how I pay estimated taxes like that, and then paid my 1040 taxes. But I'm going to mail in the form itself, the actual 1040 form. I'll mail it in, but it won't have any money because I don't owe any money. I already paid it, so I'm kind of used to that now. But I don't know about I've seen the request to create this new special ID. They kind of urge you to do this, but then they give you the chance to keep your same username and password. And so I've just like to do it. And now I'm determined to keep my typical username and password that I gave them a couple years ago, and not go with Bert described. I might have an epileptic seizure or something. The lights kind of sound pretty scary. And no offense to people that have epilepsy, for sure. It's a very sad and serious disease. And no, I'm not shopping for a furnace, but I have been shopping for an air conditioner, and I've had 4 companies come out. And progressively, each company I like better and better and better. And now, I've decided that I probably would just like to stick with the original company. It's a man and wife operation, two-person company who put my furnace in 9 years ago for just one hell of a price. It was like $1,650 for a forced air gas furnace. Now, granted, it was just one stage, and I think Dave probably got two stages, and that's why it isn't so quiet. But I knew I couldn't go wrong for the price, and it's still, like they say, the ever bunny or whatever, it's still ticking. So anyway, and I thought you said 2099. You said 2029. Of course you're going to be around for that. And I'm not too sure I'm going to want to be looking and seeing it in the sky. With that, K7ITS, back to net control. K7ITS, another ID, and here this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the air machine on stage 87CYF. Let's go to the caller to wait, W7ATS.
Hello, everybody again. Let's see. Let's comment with Bert. Yeah, the radio. I did not know that it had water damage. I was trying to think if I've ever had my radio in a situation where I get water in it, and there's only been like maybe one or two times that I had it camping, and I might have left it in one of those like little four-post outdoor breezeway tents with like the insect screen, and maybe the water got in through the screen and it got in on my radio. But my 991 Alpha, the V2 that I have, it was always with it outside, and that radio has never had a problem. And I just think maybe it's a design flaw on the 7100. I noticed that the heating or the cooling system on it is open, and it has a grill on the top of the radio, so water can drip down straight into the radio. So the 991 Alpha, you can't do that. It has a protective shield around it, and then another shield inside the case that I think kind of protects it from RF. I don't think the DICOM has that problem. I mean, it has that set up, so it's far more susceptible to water damage. This real big bummer, because I'm going to make for that radio, and I only bought it less than a year ago. Just bummed. Luckily, I have a couple radios, so it's not like the end of the world, but it just sucks. Trying to find a shop or a hand that wants to have me try to repair it, or I don't want to part it out. It's too new, you know what I mean? Alright, well, wait, what else did I'll let you guys know I'm getting real close to doing my outside work on the turret, which is the staircase goes to my roof, and the deck. I just got approved for the second round of financing on that project, so we'll be able to get that all started up here soon. Probably like 6 weeks or something. But yeah, I'm excited about that. Alright, well, this is W7ATS, back to net.
W7ATS, thanks for that. Let's go to James, WU7N, Bellevue.
Well, thank you, Dave. Again, I hope you find someone that can do something with the radio. Yeah, I thought you said 2099 too. 2029, that's just a short time away. And so I'll definitely be turning an eye to the sky to try and find that one. Bert, I'm sorry, you have the funniest one of the night. The IRS banned you from its website because you're downloading too many forms to give them money. Just stop and think about that for a minute. I mean, that is absolutely mind-blowing to me. I would think that they would put you on like a preferred customer list if you were downloading too many forms. I mean, why would they not? Well, anyway, I wish you the best of luck. And Richard, I can't believe you have tax returns activated when you were 19. I mean, when I was much, much younger, I remember we paid in pellets and mostly dried fish. So you probably, I don't remember the forms though. Maybe it was like the Pirates or Clay tablets or something. They must be heavy to store. Let's see, okay, Jessica, you're going to go work for the post office, right? That's what you're thinking about. Okay. I
I was in a unique position where I went to different sites, and every place you work has a totally different personality. But it's going to be interesting. When I had to go to the corporate orientation, even though I was a contract worker, I was going to be there, not forever. So it was a 2-day orientation crammed into 5 days. And it's going to be interesting when the suicide lady has you for an entire afternoon. I knew, I said, oh, this is going to be an interesting one. Anyway, let's see. One thing you could drive yourself in the post office in some positions is crazy. But like I said, every place is different. It all depends. Today was Com Academy. I don't know if any of you guys saw that. It's worth it maybe to go check out a couple of the videos. They said they were going to record them and have them out on YouTube. Last year, it was hard show to beat. Last year, the most interesting video was how they did it. They recorded everything and they put it together. I think it went for 2 days. Today it was a one-day event. It was all real-time live on YouTube, and it was, interesting lectures. And I understand there was one individual that largely put it together this year. So I guess the people that pulled together last year, it was just a lot of work, and I guess they didn't have that much support this year because last year was truly impressive. So anyway, I see we're 14 minutes at the top of the hour, so let me turn it back to Dave. This is James with Uniform 7 November, and let me turn it back to our net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society.
WW7 James, thanks for that. And this is Dave, KD7 CYM in Lake City. Oh, great net tonight. I was going to say that I bet what's going to happen in 2099. I don't think I'd be around to see it, but thanks to an air recoup from Wee, I think that hopefully I'll be there to see it. But I was also looking at other dates. When I did my furnace replacement, it lasted 25 years, so now with the new furnace, it's probably going to go another 25 years, which will far outlive me. So anyway, providing there's still natural gas to fuel furnaces in the future, it will outlive me. And again, this is Dave, KD7CYM, and if anybody else would like to check into the net. Good man, let's go up to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, thank you very much. It's KD7QKU. Well, Jessica, I bought those corners at McLendon, but I bought them quite a few years ago. And I went back today and I bought 3 more, and they were 10 times what I paid for them. My goodness sakes, they were expensive, I thought, because I extended it one section to make it a little bit longer. And Wade, I'm sorry to hear about your radio. On the 10-meter net, I think it's Wednesday night, and it comes on about, 7 o'clock. There's a guy that lives up towards Sultan, not Sultan, but up towards, I can't say what it is. It's up, Highway 9? He's up there. And he does a lot of repair on radios. And then there is another guy that's over by Sultan that repairs radios. I can't tell you his name either. But a lot of people have had radios fixed by him. So there are people around to do it. And there used to be a guy over by Kingston that did a lot of work for ICOM. And he was really good, but I guess he finally retired. Listen, I do have another picture I'm going to show you. Hang on a second. This is a little cabinet that I got, a little stereo cabinet that I put the ATV stuff in the bedroom now and sit on that table, so Joanne thinks that's pretty nice. matches our furniture in our bedroom, so she was happy. She's happy, I'm happy. What do they say? Happy wife, happy life. Okay, well, it's been a fun net. So back to that KD7 continue.
KD7 continue on. Let's go to Everett. Jessica. KF7. UHK.
Speaking of those parts you bought from the Clendons, I once bought these things from a place on the web. They're called star plates, and they're 5-sided gizmos that you hook up into 2x4s, and you can see this cabin we built. This is a geodesic dome with a little overhang on the roof to let the water run off. And as we were building our bigger cabin, this was our little residence as we go up to go camping. Instead of having to throw a pup tent up each time we wanted to go working up there, we'd have this little small cabin. Very comfortable inside. We could stand up inside. You had to duck down to go through that door, but it was, it was 11 feet tall from the floor to that peak up there, and we had a bunk that we had so we could, throw our sleep bags up on. Very, very comfortable. Throw a little heater in there. It was very, very efficient. Star plates. The pack of them that would make this was only about $25, and then you just put on your own wood and 2x4s, and it was very easy to build. Let's see, IRS. I was thinking about Facebook jail. If you do things wrong, sometimes they'll throw you in Facebook jail, as we call it, where you said things to defend someone, and then you can't use your Facebook for a while. I've never been thrown into Facebook jail, but I've known people who have, because they've said things a little bit too spicy or something. So I think that's funny. Let's see. Somebody's one of these employment things I went through is they send you an online, like a personality profiler test that you go through and answer questions. But they have questions like, when you have a task to do you do it your own way, or do you follow the crowd? And then you have to rate this answer. Well, let's see. I'm not going to do it my own way, because I think they probably have a process to do it. But if I say follow the crowd, does that sound like I'm not really, following along with what their process is either? So it makes it really tough. And they're hard questions that they want you to try to answer so they can try to detect your personality. So I found it very entertaining, kind of. So go look at personality profiling surveys and stuff. None of them are very fun. Sometimes they sound like they're asking you to find out if you're a crazy person. Do you, like, questions like, do you often get mad and throw things? Usually you'll answer no. No person will say, probably not. But someone who just doesn't have their head in order might say, I do that all the time. So anyhow, I don't throw things when I get mad. This is KF7, UHK, up and ever.
Thank you, Jessica. Let's go to Lee, M7TC, and put into us.
Okay, these are things. There's this Leopard engine, M7TC. If Mama not happy, nobody happy. Anyway, listen, I had a water incident with the radio once. I had a really nice, it was a fiberglass shrouded, I think it was a dual band VHF antenna up on the roof in Seattle. And one of the sections of the fiberglass came unscrewed. Well, I had attached the coax was the 9914, I guess, 9913. Anyway, it was all taped up to the connector, really, really nice. But what happened was the fiberglass at the bedroom breached, and rainwater got in. Now it was a funnel. It filled the coax with water, came right down into the shaft, and thankfully I had a filter between the radio and the coax to the antenna. So it was the filter that took it in the short, but I was able to clean that up and save it. The antenna I had to take out of its shroud and dry it, clean it, test it, and all that. When I put it back together, it worked just fine, but I had to repair the fiberglass. So there is a way to get water into a radio, and it's very sleepy, you never know it. Thankfully, I had an intervening filter that caught it and then saved the radio. So there we go. Okay, I don't have anything else. We're getting down to the bitter end here, so I'll say 7-3, and we'll catch you guys after that. And 7KC in Fort Angeles. Yeah, back to you, Dave.
And 7KC, thanks for that. Let's go on to Bert in 7CS, Marysville.
Okay, let's see. On Wade's radio, I went. Wade, you said it was unrepairable, but they didn't give you like a price quote to like change out the main board. I mean, I think that'd probably be pretty expensive, but I would have thought maybe they would have given you an offer for that. Dave mentioned natural gas earlier. That reminded me of some news story I read the other week. I think it was about one of the major oil and gas companies. For the oil wells, they sometimes have to flare off natural gas if they don't have a place to store it, or sometimes it's just too cheap to try to store. So they have to burn the natural gas. Well, apparently they started working with a company that said, hey, we have an idea here. We're going to use your excess natural gas that you're just flaring off. We're going to use it to power our Bitcoin miners. So they would set up Bitcoin mining on site at the rig. Basically, I don't know, generators or something to take that natural gas and power all that stuff. So they could make money off of the flare instead of flaring. But anyway, we're getting close to the end. So 73 all. This is Bert in Marysville and 7CS. Back to Matt.
And 7CS, thanks, Bert. Well, let's go to Richard, T7ITX in Kent.
All right, well, we're wrapping things up here. Get to square one here. Ron, I have learned from all your different activities since you got your new house, and that's to let someone else do your yard work or your landscaping. And so we had probably 6 or 7 people just tear into our front yard yesterday. I mean, they took out literally, they took out every single weed, and there were more weeds in our yard than stars in the sky. So, I mean, that was pretty incredible to watch them take out every single weed, along with the moss. They filled up the utility trailer with moss and weeds, brimming. And then with that same trailer, they came back with a load of topsoil, and after, of course, all that weeding and thatching, they spread the topsoil and reseeded and stretched caution tape all around the yard now, and it'll turn out great. And I'm just so happy that I'm sitting here to be able to tell you about it. So there you go. All right, Dave, thanks for doing that tonight. KD7ZIO, K7ITX, I'll say 73.
K7ITX, Richard, thanks for that. And it's time for the net to terminate. We'd like to thank the owners and operators of the Seattle Repeaters Association for allowing us to use WW7ATS repeater 147.08, referred to as the 08 machine, for our nets held on Wednesdays and Saturdays from 8 to 9 o'clock. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, signing off at the net this evening, this is Dave, KD7YM, at 9 o'clock. Good evening all.
N7KC disconnected.